Let me know if you can hear me now, Ray. Let me know if the sound is good. I think the sound should be good now. I had to adjust my mic. My apologies. And we are talking the NBA RICO case. Is it real? Because some of the things alleged in this are pretty serious. So there's a lot to talk about. All right, good looks, good looks. All right, welcome. Welcome. So if you haven't heard, a big indictment came down today, and it's a federal indictment, and it's actually two cases, and some people are reporting it as one, but these are two separate cases. So let's pull up some information here. So we have the first case here, right? The first case involves Terry Rozier. Okay, the first case involves Terry Rozier. So that's important. So let me just go back to solo real quick, and then I'm going to pull that up. I just want to make sure I got my dashboard on this side. Okay. So here is the case that the feds are alleging. This is what they are saying happened. They're saying that now all these things are alleged, okay? This is not a presumption of innocence or guilt. All of these things are alleged. This is innocent until proven guilty. But what they are saying is that Terry Rozier was fixing games. He was involved in a betting scandal. And one of the main specific things that people are citing is that on March 23rd, 2023, Terry Rozier planned to leave the game early. He planned to leave the game early. And he told people to bet on his under. So if you've never gambled before, if you don't know what that is, what that means is he wants people to place money that he's going to score less than a certain amount of points or less than a certain amount of rebounds. So because he knew he was going to be out that day, he told people to bet money on this. And allegedly what it said is that once he told people he was going to be out on this March 23rd, 2023 game, people placed a wager worth $200,000, and they obviously won because he exited the game early with an injury. And that same night, all the cash that was won, they took the cash to his house and they counted it together. That's what's alleged. This is one case. There are two breaking cases with the NBA today. That's the first case with Terry Rozier. Now, the second case actually involves a former NBA player and Hall of Fame coach who goes by the name of Chauncey Billups here. Now, I have to always give context and be clear. I know Chauncey Billups personally. I know him personally. I've known Chauncey Billups for a very long time, since I was a teenager. And the things that are alleged here, I will be very clear and honest. I have never seen Chauncey engage in any type of illegal behavior. He's been nothing but a mentor to me, to my friends, to my family. So I've never seen anything that will resemble him having to do with gambling, poker rings, anything of that nature. But what they're alleging Chauncey did was he was a part of a poker game that was fixed, and he worked in conjunction with the American mob, the five families. You said, what does this have to do with music? Nothing. We're talking basketball RICOs today. We are talking basketball RICOs. But if you want to hear about the case, this is the biggest story right now kind of in the country. So we are going to talk about it. So this has nothing to do with music, but I'm going to talk about it because I like basketball and I like, business. And these two things are intersecting. So they are alleging that Chauncey Billups worked in rigged poker games. Now, what they're alleging here is this. Yeah, it's very crazy. What they're alleging with Chauncey is this, is that he was a player in these fixed games, and it was what was called a face. He was the reason why people with a lot of money would want to come to the games and gamble, because, hey, I'm a rich guy. I have a bunch of money. Now let me go gamble with a former NBA player, NBA coach, Hall of Fame guy. So he was the draw, allegedly, to get these big money games going, to get to people who wanted to gamble with him. And these are poker games that are run, they're not in casinos. They're like backroom games or penthouse games. They're private games. You have to be invited. So what they're saying is that Chauncey was the draw. Now, in these games, they're alleging that they had illegal devices, right? They said they had glasses that allowed you to see what cards other people were holding. They had card counters, right? When the cards were dealt, that would allow certain hands to be dealt to certain players. People had earpieces and signals were sent so that essentially the people at the table knew when the fish had a good hand and when to fold, or when the fish had a bad hand and when to push. And they allege that over the course of 4 years, tens of millions of dollars were lost by these people who had no idea that these games were fixed. So they're saying that Chauncey was allegedly involved in these things. And again, yes, If Molly's Game was rigged, very similar. So if you've never played cards at an underground game, playing cards is not illegal. What makes it illegal is if the house takes a rake, which means if there's $100 pot, the house may say, I want $10 off each hand, a 10% rake. So they'll take $10 and pocket it because they're providing the house. They're providing, sometimes these games have drinks. These games have complimentary food. So if you want to play at this game, you have to pay a 10% rake on each pot. So they're saying that Chauncey was playing at these games and the games were rigged for certain people to lose. So these are two separate incidents, but they're both involving NBA players. And this is breaking news because it taints the integrity of the game. It taints the integrity of the game. Now, what's important to talk about here is a few things, but we could start with this. This is going to continue to happen. And if you think that these are the only 2 or 3 people involved in sports gambling, you would be very wrong. Gambling is an addiction, okay, that everyone can suffer from. Normal people who work 9 to 5s, people with millions of dollars, people with hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you are addicted to gambling, it doesn't matter what your profession is, nothing can stop you. And now that gambling is so common, right? You turn on your TV, people are talking about gambling. You read the newspaper, people are talking about gambling. You're on the train, there's ads for gambling. You're on your phone, there's ads for gambling. It is going to continue to hook more and more people. So even though Terry Rozier, who's earned over $100 million in his career and was supposed to make $26 million this year, he was involved in this. And shout out to, I don't want to say your name wrong, Devon. You're right. They are investigating more teams and there are going to be more players under investigation. And I guarantee you more players and more coaches will be indicted in the upcoming year. I will guarantee that. I can guarantee that. Because once you wrap up one person and they start talking, you're going to continue to wrap up more people. That's just the way that the game goes. That's the way that the game goes. This is how the feds get people. They get people and they get you to cooperate. So it turns from just a simple, maybe your friends are placing the wagers and maybe they get stuck in a hole. And now they say, hey, Terry, I need you. I need some money, man. Will you do this for me? Will you leave the game early with an injury? Because for Terry Rozier, it's all right, whatever, I'll leave the game. Why would anyone suspect anything? But when you look at plays like this from Terry Rozier, let's see if I could pull up some of these plays. Let's watch this play right here. He's dropping the ball all over the place. This looks fixed. How do you review this and justify it? How do you justify these actions, right? Why are you playing like this? It looks staged. And there's no way around it. There's literally no way around, around what this looks like. So it's a sad thing, right? It's very sad that people are blessed with this kind of money and they still make silly decisions. If you give me $100 million, I guarantee you I will never open DraftKings or FanDuel again. I would never open the app again. I would never do it because I have that kind of money. So, this really opens some doors. Damon Jones is another former player and coach who was involved in this, and he has a close relationship with LeBron James. So now you already know once LeBron's in something, people will run with the headlines that LeBron was involved somehow or LeBron was giving him the information about the injuries. I'm not going to do it. Chauncey's my hometown hero. Sad day. You from Colorado? Chauncey, again, I've never seen him ever do anything of this nature, which is why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, innocent until proven guilty. Maybe he was just at the game and he didn't know they were rigged. That's what I'm hoping for. Everyone on the Lakers needs to be investigated except Luka. They're selling. Listen, man, the Lakers have new ownership. So they're going to clean house with a lot of things. And the Lakers are said to be one of the teams, that the federal government is going to be looking at. The Lakers are supposed to be one of the teams that the federal government is looking at. So Over the next year, there will be more and more news like this coming out because you're not going to stop it. And remember when this gambling stuff came out, people were worried about college players. People worried about college players, but NBA players too. Anyone can be tempted with money. It doesn't matter about what level of player at. You could tempt a middle school player to throw a game. What about the referees who have the ability to change things on the field? He also told bettors that the Trailblazers were going to tank a game to get a better draft pick. That's what's alleged in the paperwork under Conspirator 8. I did see that. And again, innocent until proven guilty. So, all of these things were alleged. But it's just it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing because it's not just these guys who are affected. It's their families. It's their kids. It's their wives. It's their brothers, aunts, uncles. And these stories don't go away. The NBA is going to have to deal with this. The NBA is going to have to deal with this because now the whole league is under a bunch of scrutiny. Yeah, he went to Colorado. Yeah. Yes, he did. And shout out to his brother Rodney, who used to coach at Colorado. I know Rodney as well. So, again, I've never seen anything of this nature. So, always give the benefit of the doubt. But, yeah, how does the NBA justify this? Remember, they looked into Terry Rozier and cleared him. So the NBA says they cleared him, but then the federal government comes in with more and more evidence. So did the NBA investigate this properly? Did they? Or did they try to sweep it under the rug? And this is not the first NBA scandal with betting. If you remember the referee, Tim Donahue. Big scandal with betting with him too, where he says the referees were rigging games to hurt players due to free throw discrepancies. You got the Lakers against the Kings in I think 2002 or 2003. Another game that was skeptical. You had Jonte Porter 2 years ago. These things are going to continue to come up. And imagine what's going on in college. Imagine what is going on in college. There's a lot that's happening. Because when it comes to the college game, players are even more, they can be influenced even more. Because when it comes to college, if you don't have a big NIL deal, you might be putting money together, barely making it. So if somebody comes and offers you $10K to miss a couple free throws, you better believe that those kids can easily be influenced. You better believe that those kids could easily be influenced. So sports and gambling, they're in bed together, but this is not a good mix. It's never going to turn out well because people are too susceptible to temptation. And when money's on the table and you could be tempted to do something, it is very, very, very easy for you to fall into that trap. So it's a big day in sports. It's a big day in the NBA. And this is going to happen in the NFL. This is going to happen in NHL. This already happened in baseball with Shohei Ohtani. This is going to continue to come around and happen. And shout out to all 13 people in the chat. I know this is outside of my typical wheelhouse. I usually do music on here, but sports is another passion of mine. So you will see some sports content coming from me. So just be prepared. So I just wanted to check in really quickly, touch base so that everyone knows, what's going on. On the music front, we will have a lot to talk about this weekend. I have some videos queued up and maybe I'll go live again later or drop a video again later. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Just a quick update and be on the lookout. Maybe we have a video coming tonight. If not tonight, we'll have something tomorrow for sure. I salute you all. Thank you.